Well, good news for everybody on the web today. We've got back-to-back episodes with the Conspiracy Keepers. I'm Backlash LaRue with Joe Monaco and Scooter McGee. Gentlemen, we are just talking about cryptocurrency and Elon Musk. Where do you guys want to head from here?
Well, I think that what we were getting into last segment is the fact that there are no really to get to that position where Elon Musk is. You have to be one of them, kind of like George Carlin. I know you guys are familiar with him, talking about being part of the club. You got to be part of the club. No, there are no renegades out there that are challenging these people. They're challenging these Illuminati globalists. There aren't any, and if there was, they'd rub them out just like that. And I think that's what a lot of the deceived people, we talked about this before, a lot of the deceived people, especially the religious Christian right, thought that Donald Trump was this renegade that was on our side and he's going to fight these Illuminatis. Oh, come on. He's one of them. You don't get in that position unless they put you there. And if you even give them a hint of rebelling or fighting them, they'll take you out, i.e. John Kennedy. So just keep that in mind. This is all a plan. Elon Musk being on Saturday Night Live is just like when Bill Clinton was on Arsenio Hall to kind of get the young people behind him. It's all a big act. It's all a big stage, and it's all they're all part of the same club.
I'm gonna jump in real quick on that. You said because of John F. Kennedy. I do know you guys have talked for years that he was trying to get us back onto the gold standard.
Right.
So he was trying to buck the system, even though
he was
part of it.
Right. Yeah, because keep in mind that the Kennedys are an Illuminati family themselves. Now, and that's why he got there. They're not going to put a renegade in knowing that he's a renegade. Now, for whatever reason, something happened while he was in office and he started to do the right thing and say, okay, I'm going to fight these people. I'm going to fight the Federal Reserve. I'm going to get this United States notes printed instead of Federal Reserve notes. He had billions of them printed up. He was going to fracture the CIA into a million pieces, is what he said, because they've got too much power. And he was going to bring the troops back from Vietnam, which is not good for the defense contractors because they're making tons of money. All those things are not in the globalist interest. So they took him out. That's what happens if you ever try to challenge these people, because you can't challenge them. They'll take you out.
Okay. Let's bring it into nowadays with Biden wanting to go into the infrastructure and all the, hate to say it, but backlash on that. Scooter, any ideas? Joe?
Go ahead, Scooter.
Can I follow up, Joe, or Backlash, before I answer your follow-up? Can I follow up with Joe on Kennedy?
Oh, you bet.
I agree with Joe that, as he said, as president, something happened. And this is all speculative. I believe it was West Virginia using the mafia and internal forces of the government to sway an election. I think at that point in time, again, John is still a puppet, even though at a higher level, and he's going to be controlled. But along with the dismantling, the dissolving of the Federal Reserve, he wanted to dismantle the Central Intelligence Agency because they had become a third arm of the government accountable to nobody. And Joe, you're going to have to correct me. I think I'm wrong, but is not Kennedy the only president to openly talk about secret societies?
Yeah, absolutely, he was. Yeah, he was the only one. He was the one that made an entire speech on these people.
The line he crossed.
Well, yeah, it was the line he crossed. Yeah, because I think because remember, this was 1963, not the same as it is now. They've set up roadblocks now to where you wouldn't be able to challenge him even as much as Kennedy did. So he was kind of their test puppet. When he started to cross the line, they made it now to where no U.S. president can do that anymore. But yeah, he caused them a problem for a little while, but they took him out. Yeah, you're exactly right.
And so, Backlash, to follow up now with your comment about Biden and infrastructure. First of all, I think this whole infrastructure is just code, of course, for the Great Reset and the Green Deal, because they've been talking about money for infrastructure for the same 50 years that Biden has been in public service, and our infrastructure is crumbling around us.
Very true.
Infrastructure is just generic code for more money, more power, and 10-year plans, so that it can always, we'll be transparent, accountable on somebody else's watch.
Yeah. I mean, these guys never do anything that's in our best interest. They might like make it look like it is, and people be suckered into it, but it's always in their best interest. We're talking about the 1% that control everything. That's what they're always in and doing what's best for them, not us. When you go and vote for these people, all you do is give that. Well, first of all, your vote doesn't mean anything because the elections are already decided way before you even vote. But all you're doing is giving them the okay to do what they want, not do what you want them to do. That's not how this game works. Go ahead.
Backlash, do you have anything else?
I'm just reeling. Just always reeling.
What are your hamsters' names?
Yeah, I'm going to have to name them. They've been, well, I change them out pretty much after every show because they just run themselves stupid. So then that also brings up, I remember when Trump was going to be in, he's like, oh, and I'm going to bring out, all the stuff from John F. Kennedy's assassination and everything else. Nothing ever came of that.
Right. Yeah. Right. No, nothing ever came of it.
And what does that tell you? It tells you that, generationally speaking, powers that were involved in that crime then are still in office, or generationally speaking now. There's still in power, they can still be exposed, and that's why not. Hence the importance of the bloodline, hence the secret societies. I still think that whole John Edwards thing was, they were going, like Joe, again, Elon being a part of it, and we just don't know. John Edwards' love child was to be hidden from the public for 30 years until they could prop him out. And it was the National Enquirer that caught him. Talk about a hair in the ointment, or a fly in the ointment.
Right. Well, you know how the National Enquirer works, right? I mean, everybody, well, you should know how it works. The National Enquirer is just used for blackmail. That's all that is.
That's right. They're strong arm.
Yeah, so let's say the same people that own the National Enquirer own Men's Fitness and all kinds of other mainstream magazines. So what they'll do is let's say that they will have a picture of somebody in some compromising position, and what they'll do is they'll say, okay, we're going to put this in the Enquirer unless you come and pose for us on Men's Fitness and give us an in-depth interview on your life. So then they'll say, okay, that's, we'll go ahead and do that for free.
All right, you brought up the Tiger reference, Joe.
Yeah, Tiger did that.
In the world of Tiger Woods, what are you making of the senseless press conferences of there's nothing to see here? Then why have another press conference to tell us there's nothing to see here?
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, exactly. You're exactly right. That's exactly what's going on. Yeah, exactly. Yep, no doubt about it.
Do you have any inside scoop or inside track? What are you thinking was going on in the world of Tiger?
I think just to add what we had talked about before, nothing about what happened in this so-called accident makes any sense at all. Nothing about it makes any sense. He crossed over lanes of traffic. He went about 500 feet. And the real thing is, he never attempted to brake. The sheriff's department even said he never hit the brakes. The accelerator was pressed to 99% through the whole thing. He never attempted to brake, his vehicle, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And they said it rolled over, but who knows what really happened? But they didn't test him for anything.
A grisly thought.
I mean, it's just unbelievable what they told us, but it makes no sense whatsoever. The fact is, for something like that to happen, he's got to be unconscious. And I'm not talking about asleep. I'm talking about unconscious. Something really sinister was supposed to happen then that probably didn't happen.
So, Joe, as you were talking about this, I got a real sinister thought. In the world, for example, of an Elvis Presley or a Michael Jackson, or now as the Prince lawsuits unfold, is Tiger Woods now worth more dead than alive? Is his estate and his branding and his trade name, etc., was this a possible assassination attempt, or was he completely, as he said, unconscious, and he was supposed to go kill somebody else and it completely blew up in their face? Who knows?
Yeah, well, I think it's very curious because this happened in Palos Verdes is a very busy place, especially after 7 o'clock in the morning. That place really gets busy after 6 o'clock. But I think what's interesting is there's like nobody saw anything. Nobody's on the street. It's almost like this thing was cleared out just for him. It doesn't make any sense.
With everybody's got in their dash cams and their video cars and all that, and their ring cameras, we don't even see him driving in front of or behind anybody else on that same highway, that same road.
Nothing. Yeah, absolutely nothing. Yeah, the whole thing just stinks to high heaven. But so that's the way these people operate.
Is Tiger Woods worth more dead than alive?
Boy, if what looks like was supposed to happen but didn't happen, it looks like that probably is the case.
How you doing, man, Clash?
I'm typing that in just to see. I have a feeling black helicopters are going to be.
But Tiger Woods' estate, I mean, whatever, his brand, his company, his name, in the world now, if you can digitize something and it's worth a cryptocurrency, it begs the question in the days that, Joe, wasn't that the running joke that Elvis Presley's estate made more than when Elvis was alive?
Yeah, absolutely. That's right.
And then the whole thing with Michael Jackson when he acquired the Beatles, and then that whole thing. But then the Michael Jackson estate now is in perpetuity its own financial machine, which I know the greed around Prince, where that's going to go. And when you were talking to him, like, oh my God, did the handlers want to kill him? Because, again, getting ready for another Masters, yada, 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 and Tiger's dead. His estate is worth $1 gajillion suddenly. It's overnight T-shirt revenue and ribbon wearing.
Right. And once again, he's no stranger to single car accidents. This is the third single car accident he's been in. And anytime that you see any kind of big time celebrity with a lot of money involved in a single car accident, that should raise a red flag right there. And to be involved in 3 of them, something doesn't smell right about that.
We're back to California governor candidate Caitlyn Jenner, because as Bruce, there was that little traffic mishap,
That's right. Or somebody was killed. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, those things are always suspicious. And man, I tell you what.
What a great way to blackmail a governor.
Yeah, exactly. So that just goes to show you, man, there's no stopping these people. These people are just evil to the core, and they'll stop at nothing. So I think you just have to understand who's in control and what kind of morals and values they have, which is none. So once people realize that, I think what's going on in the world should make a lot more sense to you, as far as what you're seeing is not happening organically. It's happening by a plan. What was it, FDR, that said in politics, nothing happens by accident. If it happens, you can bet it was planned that way. Okay, so here's somebody who should know about how the world works. And, I think we brought up this before. John Kennedy's father, Joe Kennedy, he was basically a mafia man himself.
110%. John Kennedy, Joseph P. Kennedy Sr.
Yeah, he said he once made the statement.
A low-life Irish mafia hood.
Yeah,
he was a rum runner. He made all of the money in bootlegging.
But he did.
He cleaned himself up in the public eye, but he was never an upstanding member of the Christian Irish business community. Joseph P. Kennedy Sr. was a He wasn't a ruthless piece of garbage. He was just a piece of garbage in the right spot at the right time that made millions in Prohibition.
Yeah, and not only in Prohibition, but he also fixed the stock market, kind of like the Rothschilds did, because that's what those people do. Well, he made an interesting statement. We've talked about this before, but he was telling the truth with this one. He said, 50 people run the world, and that might be a high number.
Yeah, and that may be too many. I was going to.
Yeah, that's a statement that is absolutely true. And until people grab onto that concept, the world will make no sense to you. But if you do get that concept, you'll get it.
Remember, Joe, back then when he said that was the time of global thinking, for example, the League of Nations. That's what they were selling to the world and to the American public was, quote, the League of Nations status, where we all just meet at a table and we agree so there'll never be another war.
Right.
Well, but the public is that the countries were involved, and Joseph B. Kennedy, again, making a comment that, or Rockefeller, excuse me, right? John D. Rockefeller made that comment? Number of people, Joe?
Which one?
Was it Rockefeller or Kennedy? I slipped. Of who made the comment of how few people run the world.
Oh, that was Joe Kennedy.
The country leaders run the world, when in fact not. It's their handlers.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But keep in mind, all these people are related. They're all related to each other. There's nobody up there that's a renegade that doesn't have a certain bloodline. This is like
right, Joe.
It's all in the family.
About the elephant in the room. We got to talk about the elephant in the room. Tomorrow night is the 99th day of presidency for former Vice President Joseph Biden. And then what is up with Kamala Harris?
Well, I think
if everyone is in check, if everyone's in play, everyone's part of this game, then it can help me understand her.
Well, historically, the vice president tends to be the handler of the president. So they have something in store for her, no doubt, that they haven't really unleashed yet, because they don't like women and they don't like minorities, but they will use them to their benefit, as a means to an end. So they've definitely got something planned for her, just like they had for Obama. He's one of them, but he's kind of a low level one of them because he's a minority. So, but they'll still use him. They will still use him for their purpose. And they've got a plan similar for her, I'm afraid, because I just don't see Biden with his health lasting 4 years and definitely not 8 years. So they've got something in plan, and it doesn't include him in the long run, I'm afraid.
What do you make of our? I don't know if it was this current episode or the one we just got done doing, this part 2, about you brought up they're going to bring back up the school shootings, but you also brought up terrorism. Do you see the U.S.-Mexican border as the terror height threat? Or is there going to be another, it's halfway around the world, global terror? Because in the 2 weeks since we've talked, U.S. troops are now beginning the exit from Afghanistan after nearly a 20-year insertion of U.S. troops.
Well, you know why that is. Well, first of all, I don't think they're going to bring out terrorism too much anymore, because that accomplished what they wanted to accomplish with it. They wanted Afghanistan, they wanted Iraq, they wanted Libya, Syria. All those nations were not under the Rothschild-owned Federal Reserve. So that's why they needed to attack the Middle East, part of the Middle East, Muslims specifically, because they wanted to go and occupy those countries and take them over, make them be part of the global banks. So they got that. So they don't really need to do the terrorism part too much anymore, because they got what they needed. But the fact that they're getting the troops out of there, that's not a good thing for us, because what that means is they're going to get the troops from Middle East and they're going to put boots on the ground here in this country, right? Because we've got a lot of renegades over here that don't want to take the vaccine. We've got a lot of renegades over here that are telling the truth. We can't have that. We've got camps we need to put these people in that aren't going to go along with the plan, and we need boots on the ground in this country to make sure that happens. So all they're going to do is they're going to transfer them from halfway around the world and get them over here. And Trump even said that was the plan. He said he wanted the military on the streets to distribute the vaccine. So he already gave away part of the plan. They want troops on the street in this nation. So now now we're the problem. Not those silly Arabs anymore. Oh no, we're done with them. Now we've got domestic terrorists who aren't going along with the plan. And they've got concentration camps ready for those people too.
How you doing, Backlash?
Well, I need to go down to the dollar store and pick up about another 100 hamsters because they are dying left and right.
Well,
I'm holding my phone up towards everything so we can hear you. If I wasn't, I'm already looking up 50 people that run the world. I'm looking up all this other stuff. And, you know, I'm not feeling
Who said it? Who said it? And again, I may have misparaphrased Joseph P. Kennedy versus John D. Rockefeller. We should at least correctly fact check ourselves because that's what humans do. We don't need an autonomous robot or a transgender, pink-haired, cat-owning super freak who hasn't seen UV since last March checking our facts.
No, I'm
well,
looking for...
yeah. Well, yeah. Once again, keep in mind these people are all on the same page, so they've all most likely said something similar to that. So you know, they're all in on it. Yeah.
I got a good question, and I'm going to ask because I just made the pink-haired freak joke.
Okay.
When I had to do my hair, but that was for shock value in the nightclub, highly recognizable. How do you fight Scooter, the guy with the white hair? That was for show and for a character. So I get that. But what is, and I'm just seeing more and more of this in autonomous zones and occupy zones and free, safe speech areas. What's with all the pink hair and the purple hair and the blue hair? And what is that supposed to represent?
I'm not sure about that. We're gonna have to. We might have to research that one for next time. I haven't gotten into any in-depth research on that subject. So we might want to look into that for next time.
Colors represented certain. When you see somebody with pink hair, they're standing for breast cancer awareness.
I'm sure. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know most likely it does. Yeah, but I haven't done any in-depth research on that one yet. So that's another show, I think.
I'm seeing a lot. We're seeing a lot more hair out at these, celebrations, aka staging riot areas, and they've got hair like puppets.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm sure it's some kind of symbolism that we, no doubt. But yeah, we'll have to look up that one.
I will do my best to look up. I did find a few absolutely disturbing, just end times prophecy report. 37 quotes on the New World Order.
Okay.
Just an article written for the Wall Street Journal in April of 1992.
Wow.
How I Learned to Love the New World Order. Article by Senator Joseph R. Biden Jr.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's one of them.
Oh,
he's one of them.
God.
Oh, yeah.
Henry Kissinger.
Yeah, he's another one.
David Spanger. David Rockefeller.
Yeah.
George W. Bush.
Yeah.
Kissinger.
Right.
H.G. Wells.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, I'll get into those on our next episode. I'll
Backlash.
Okay.
Tell the listeners and repeat in your text message when we did go to segment break. Hey, let's go check this. We were checking websites. And just what you discovered in the world of they're not shadow banning you, they're not restricting access. All you got to do is, quote, run a Google search.
Right.
Because I forgot to mention that while we were in the field, a coworker from a partner friend of mine, hey, you're so-and-so, yeah. And he quote Googled me. And my partner went, no, you got to run him through Bing. Why? Because you'll find him. And because of shadow banning. But read what you texted both of us.
Oh,
Okay, here's
I
what it is.
was looking up the conspiracyyzone.net on Google, and it kept telling me, I think you spelled it wrong. So I actually went on to Internet Explorer and I could find it. So go to Internet Explorer to conspiracyyzone.net. But then if you scroll down, and Joe's right on the very bottom, towards the bottom, there's a little click the link to the Facebook page, and it just says, "Oh, it's not available. Something must have happened."
Yeah, right. Yeah,
What is that screenshot? Is it just the Facebook template and then everything is gone?
I'm so far out of that right now, and I've only got one hand to use to.
Would you mind
type it up.
screenshotting that and sending it to Joe so Joe can post it with this episode?
Oh, sure, I can do that.
Because it's again, I can't see in the viewers or listeners because the technology works so great. We can't even Zoom call now, which is why we got to go back to doing this in person. But I would be very interested in your angle, what you're seeing, because I was with two other agents in another city. They were deployed from other cities, and one guy on his smartphone was always defaulting to Google. Another agent, he had his smartphone that was defaulted to Bing. And lo and behold, side by side, two similar smartphones, just different platforms, Google and Bing.
Got it. Well, I'll do a quick screenshot of it.
So we should find probably who's
right
the most
there.
liberal or
So that's been recorded. So yeah, that was Facebook, WW Facebook pages, the Conspiracy Zone, and then whatever.
Yeah, but they just took that down recently. Now they had taken some postings that I've put on there down. They have done that a lot, but they finally had enough when I just challenged them. I told them, hey, Facebook, it's not your job to fact check us. You're a platform and nothing more. they didn't like that. And they took the whole thing down.
Yep. See you, bye.
Yeah, that's what they did.
I'm gonna take my toys and play somewhere else.
Yeah, they didn't like that at all.
Remember the James Caan Arnold Schwarzenegger movie Eraser?
Yeah.
It's like we're watching people just be erased, but we're not getting a new pager and a debit card with money on it. We're just being erased.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, censorship is alive and well, and it's like it's never been. I mean, they're just taking things down and admitting it. I mean, we've talked about this before. They even told me this on YouTube. If we say anything contrary to what the CDC says, they'll take it down. So they're just telling me they're going to censor us if we contradict them, and they make no bones about it. You just don't disagree with the CDC, or else we'll take you down. And they did take one of our shows down.
Yes, they have.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, we are out of time for this second segment. We want to give Joe's voice a bit of a rest.
Yeah. All right.
Hopefully we'll be back Thursday for another episode, gentlemen.
Okay.
You good on that?
All right, guys. Yeah, well, let's do one on Thursday.
That sounds good. So we'll have another episode coming up on the 29th.
Yeah.
And we will be back again. Go online to Joe.
Oh, it would be conspiracykeepers.com and or theconspiracyzone.net, but no more Facebook attached to that one.
Yeah, and don't use Google. Use try another.
We shouldn't say don't use. We should say try using alternative search engines.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see where we come up in a Yahoo, a Bing, a Start page. Maybe that's something I might do here in the next 24 hours, to just have a half a dozen guys on a half a dozen different platforms use this, whatever you call the directive, the internet window, google.com, yahoo.com, use that. And what do you screenshot? Show us what you're seeing.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, as always, it is good to see and talk with you. And it is also a nightmare to see and talk with you.
Right. No doubt.
Man, But I look forward to I look forward with dread to talking with you guys on Thursday.
Sounds good, guys.
There you go. Good to see you, Scooter. Gentlemen, have a great day.
Okay,
No
you
worries.
too. Okay, bye-bye.